Hey guys, what's going on? Adam Snyder here with the Homemade Entrepreneur. So today I want to talk to you guys about money saving tips, pretty much for anybody from beginner to more advanced. Everybody wants to save money. Not everybody likes to just spend their money. Spend. Yeah, it's great to get new things, but if you don't save money, how are you ever going to buy those things? How are you going to buy the big things, the new car, the new house, the private jet? How are you going to do any of that? You can't do that if you can't save money. So I want to show you guys how you can save money, some simple tips, and some things that I used to do, some things that I continue to do now, and some things that I can see myself doing in the future that are going to save a lot of money and a lot of headaches. Alright guys, the first thing, it's an app I want to talk about. It's called Acorns. Acorns is a simple app that you can download, and let's say you spend $1.50 on a coffee in the morning, or $2.75. It's going to take the leftover change. It's going to round you up, or depending on how you set it up, but it rounds you up to the next dollar value. So you can never invest more than $1 or 99 cents. So if it's 301, you're gonna take that other 99 cents. It's gonna bump it up to $4 is what it's gonna take out of your account. It's gonna invest the other 99 cents into a fund, and so the way you set it up is you take that money. Once it gets to a certain amount, it gets invested into stocks or that fund, which is a great way to save a little bit of money, because then you can go ahead and pull that money out whenever you need to. The one thing I want to say with this is you're investing in the stock market, and because of that, your money can go up and can go down. So you are investing small, itty bitty amounts that you might never notice. You spend $3.50 on something, let's say on a sandwich for lunch, and it invests the other 50 cents into something, and you don't even notice. You just keep spending it, swiping your card, doing your thing, and you're still saving money. So you're saving and investing at the same time, which is always a great thing. So number 2, cash. If you don't understand how to use cash correctly, the right way, it's very simple. So let's say you make $100 a day. We're just gonna go with $100. I know some people make less, some people make quite a bit more, but $100 is fairly simple. $700 a week. Okay, $100 a day. If you make $100 a day and you spend that $100 a day, you'll never have any savings. You'll never have any money. You will be broke for the rest of your life. So what do you do? What you do is, if you see yourself using a credit card or a debit card all the time and just spending all the money you have, what you need to do is use cash. Okay? If you can get by with spending $20 a day, then you give yourself $20 in cash. It's very simple. Okay? Use cash. Cash is king. Okay? It's always going to be king. All you got to do is carry that $20 around with you. When the $20 is gone, you're done spending money for the day. If you don't spend any money that day because at the end of the week you want to go see a movie, and that's $15, and popcorn, that's another $5, and you want something to drink, that's another $5. So you're $25. If you only got 20 for the day, you need an extra 5 for that week. You need to save that money somewhere. So by using cash, you're able to take that money and save it. So use cash. Alright guys, so the third tip for saving money, and I know you don't want to see this, write it all fancy so that way it doesn't hurt as much, a budget. Everybody hates doing a budget. When I did my very first budget, I hated it. But it opened up my eyes. I knew, okay, I was only making, at that time I think I was making like $80 a day. So $80 a day, that was coming out of like high school, making $80 a day, it was good money. But I was spending it all. I didn't know where it was going. By making a budget, you can see where everything's going. This isn't really a money saving tip. This is more of a money saving strategy to get you on the right path. Because if you are always spending your money, if at the end of the month you don't have any money, you can't pay your rent, your mortgage, your car payment, your credit card bill, your health insurance, whatever it is, your cell phone. If you can't pay that stuff, something's going on with your budget. Either you're spending too much money or you're not making enough. What's the easiest thing to do? Make more money or spend less? Spend less. That's a whole lot easier than to make more money for most people. Okay? Another tip that I have for you, that's something that I've been doing for probably about 3 years, and I started this out as more of a way to teach my family and my kids how to save money. And now we just continue to do it. Called Frugal Fridays. This is something that, we started out when we were doing it on Tuesdays. But then it's like, why do it on Tuesdays? Why not do it on Fridays? Sounds better. Frugal Tuesdays just sounds silly. So Frugal Fridays, what we do on Fridays is, instead of going out to dinner, instead of doing some fancy restaurant, spending $200 for my family of 5 to eat, what we're doing is we do Frugal Fridays. We go to Papa Murphy's. We go to Walmart and pick up some frozen pizzas, some DiGiorno's, some Foster Farm chicken wings, some pop or some juice, and instead of spending $60 on pizza by going to Pizza Hut, we go to Papa Murphy's, or we go to Walmart and get the frozen pizzas there. So Papa Murphy's, we're spending $20. At Walmart, we're spending about $18. We usually get 2 pizzas. So for $5, 2 pizzas for $5, that's 10. And then it's like $6 for some wings, and then we got like $1 for a pop or a juice. So we're not in it very much, under $20. Frugal Fridays. Now you can be even more frugal than that. People that eat top ramen, that you spend, was it 15 or 20 cents on a pack of top ramen, the noodles, the pack of noodles. People that do that 2 or 3 times a week, you're saving a lot of money, because if every single person does 1 pack of top ramen, my family, that would be, we'd spend $1 per meal. Spend $1 per meal, save that other $19. If we did that every single day for the entire year, $19 for 365 days, I'm not even sure what that is. Okay, I couldn't do that. I couldn't eat that stuff every single meal, or one time every single day. But if you did, just think about how much money you'd save. Alright guys, so I just wanted to give you, a few different tips, kind of get you going in the right direction on how you can save some money. This isn't a, all-inclusive guide to save money. I'm not some guru on saving money. I spend a lot of money, honestly I do. With my other businesses, one of the things I do is I go and shop. I sell stuff on Amazon FBA, so that is one of the hardest things. Is for me to make money, I gotta go spend money. So I go and spend, hundreds or thousands of dollars every single day, because that's how I'm making money. So if you are making money but you have to spend money, then I understand that. That's part of your business. That's part of your hustle. You need to make money. You gotta put, food on the table, put a roof over your head. But there are ways to get around spending so much money. Credit cards. If you use credit cards, make sure you pay them off at the end of every single month. Don't get late fees. Don't get the over limit fees. Don't get a return check. Those are simple things that are costing you an extra $20, an extra $25. Maybe the second time it's $35 or $50, and then you get your whole balance. You get cut in half because you just can't stick to it. Things like that, or your interest rates get increased. That is costing you more money, especially if you're holding your balances for months and months on end. Don't do that. Try to save as much money as possible, and it's not that difficult. You just got to know going in, how much money do you have, how much money do you have going out. You got to know your income and expenses, because if you don't know that stuff, how are you ever supposed to balance? How are you ever supposed to budget? So if you guys have any questions on saving money and just kind of moving in the right direction, putting money aside for an emergency, future expense, a big investment, whatever it is, you need to start saving. Like I said, I spend a lot of money for my day-to-day business, and that makes it very hard for me to save money. But at the same time, I know the importance of it. I know every single dollar I bring in, I do put a little bit aside. It's not a bunch, but every single dollar I know, okay, I'm making this much money, I need to put this much aside. The old saying was 10%. You get your check, 10% right off the top goes into savings. Is that what you're doing? Because honestly, 10% is not that much. You think you're going to retire off 10%? You're not going to retire off 10% of your earnings. Okay, that's not going to happen. You need a little bit more than that. 15, 20%, 25%. You need to make it count. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, click the button, subscribe to my YouTube channel today, and I'll see you guys on the next video.